It's deload. So, as we all know, yesterday, 270 for a singlet. Like, I think I said it was like a singlet 6 or 7. This chair is... Yeah, I really flipping hate this chair. I think I'm too heavy for it. But yeah, so today, day 66, it's our deload deadlift. Now, you might ask, Alex, what are you looking to deadlift on your deload deadlift? And to that I would answer, I don't know. I strained like a ligament on the inside of my right knee yesterday doing basically like one-legged sit-ups. They were this weird variation that I've done in the past to help with my hip flexor. Unfortunately, I kind of like twisted slightly and just something down the inside of my knee felt like blue tack when you stretch it. Now, I've done some like weight bearing stuff. It feels okay, but I am going to be very on top of just being like careful. Basically, I'm not going to push anything further than I need to. So we've got a singlet 7, or sorry, a singlet 627. Now, from what I remember, at the end of last block, we pulled like a 307.5. Realistically, I don't think I can measure how well that moved as like the 8, because I ended up hitching it just out of, I guess, impatience with trying to get the weight up, and that's not great. So I think I'm going to go off of the week before that, which was 295 at 7, I think. So if I just bring that up, 295. Yeah, I think it was 295. And then see what my single at, well, I'm being stupid if it's a singlet 7, but let's say if it's, I'm hitting a singlet 6, just to be on the safe side, 285. So what I'm going to try and do then is hit 285 for my singlet 7 or 290. It's going to be one or the other. I'm not really tied to each number. This is a deload, and I'm going to try and treat it as such, because if I don't, I will be pooped by week 3, and that's not the goal. So I'm going to start like probably, I'd be happy with 285, to be honest. I don't feel a need to push 290 unless today works really well. I'm going to work on trying to keep a slightly more neutral spinal position. That's something that I noticed like Reagan's deadlift is really good at, and obviously I would love to deadlift as much as Reagan or any of these guys. So just trying to keep that slightly more lower back neutrality is, I think, best. But besides that, there's not really much to talk about. We've got some bench afterwards as well, which is just like 3x5. I am excited about bench though, because I got my grip back. So for those of you that have been around a while, kind of like as I started this channel all the way back at Nationals, I had a shoulder injury that threw my bench for a loop. Like, my bench was something that I was so consistent with and had so much confidence in, I just couldn't quite remember how to do it. And unfortunately, I've had to be like piecing, it's like collecting the Dragon Balls. I've had to be like trying to grab them all back to get my bench. And we've touched on it occasionally, but this is like the first one that I'm there like 100% sure I know how to grip that bar again, and it's set back in my mind. So now I've got that, I'm hoping everything else just starts to fall into place, which would be great. But it's just volume bench today, it's 3x5. And then we've got just some big back stuff afterwards, so it's going to be a vest kind of day. But all in all, I'm looking forward to it. I enjoy these kind of more upper body focused days on the accessories, obviously. And I think that about summarizes it. So I'll catch you all in the gym. We're training in the Pure Gym today, so there'll be no Sam Sulek drive back for the debrief, unfortunately. Whew. But I'll see you for top set. Catch. relatively calm 290. I didn't even have to access Mongo, which is nice. And I'm starting to pick up on what I feel like is a really nice consistency with my form. Just like the thing that I'd been talking about that I feel I need, that I've got in my squat now, I used to have in my bench, and that I was looking for in my deadlift, which is just like a consistent setup, something that's going to make sure I lift the same way every time. And I'm coming around to rediscovering it on my bench, which is the important one for me personally. I've got it on my squat, which is just made lifting so much simpler. Like, I'm not having to take guesstimates of whether or not my squat today is going to be great or crap, depending on how my body sits, because I know how I need it to move at like the most intricate of times, which is really nice. And then now with deadlift, this kind of setup, it feels great. You know, I tense my glutes, I ensure that I've got that neural pathway going, and then I turn my feet in slightly, just like a degree or two in from like maximal glute tension out, if that makes sense. Then I get like my upper lats up, breathe in, brace down on top of it, keep my arms long, get those lats in front of me, and just kind of go down. The last thing I've got to work on now is keeping that like lower back flat and the whole body fully tensioned. I don't think I lost it there, but it's definitely not, you know, second nature to me yet, which is what we're working on. So we've now got like back offs, but the back offs are actually quite small. So yeah, I've got a top single, and now I've got a couple of triples. So I'll probably show you one or two of those, and then we'll go from there. But it's probably going to be like 260, 270, maybe, I think, for the triples, which would be pretty cool. A little nerve-wracking, to be fair. At least I bought my actual deadlift straps this time. Last week I was having a whole ass issue because my deadlift straps just were not, I didn't bring them with me, and it made my life a living hell. So I'll probably take like the lighter end of my back offs, being 262.5 for a few sets of triples, because again, I don't really want to push the pedal. It's supposed to be a deload. So I've got that, and then I've got bench. So I'll see you for the back offs. So that's deadlifts done. That first set of back offs was the best. I was a little bit more rushed. I think I only took like 2 or 3 minutes between that and my second triple. But I'm a little bit of a hurry because I want to grab that bench before someone else does. So I might go put my stuff over there and then rush the last deadlift in with my shoulder. So I'll see you for bench. Well, the more knuckle over grip definitely helped. Pieces are falling in place. This is really goddamn easy. So, yeah, I've got one more set and then I've got accessories. I'll let you see both. I must say, this is the best deadlift and bench I've moved in a while. And that goes for the 320 deadlift PR and the 252.5 bench. I finally have my lat tension back. In a small way, not all the way. In a small way, I have my lat tension back from my bench. And that signals very, very dangerous stuff. Very. That's bench done. Happy to call that a range of 6 or 7. Definitely wasn't any higher. Now we've got accessories.
Broken walls, and I can't see it clearly, but it's obvious. I know that you left me alone inside this empty, broken hall, and now you'll be the reason why my soul is tainted.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we once again find ourselves at the end of day debrief of day 66. And I'm pretty confident it is day 66, because if not, I'm going to have to do some creative editing. I'm feeling wonderful, whimsical even. I was talking to Adrian, one of the powerlifters at my local gym, and he was there like, bro, why are you deloading with 290? It's like, it's a bit heavy. And I was like, that's the thing. It's not. It's crazy. My form today for both for deadlift and bench felt immaculate. Like deadlift, the 260 first back off triple was perfect. Like it looked awesome. So I'm just going to work on kind of like, I've got my setup now. Now I'm just tweaking it to make sure I always get that lovely form. But I mean, even the 290 was easy. Like I didn't have to go to that place in my head where I kind of have to go when I'm getting heavier. And it's funny because, you know, as Adrian said, isn't that quite heavy? Well, I didn't even have to access this part of my head where I think about like my alternative persona being Mongo. I didn't even have to access that. So no, it was light. It may have moved, you know, not slow, but definitely not flying. But that wasn't like, that was maybe a 6.5, definitely no more than 7. And bench, the grip was perfect. Like I got my chest through with that grip and everything felt amazing. So I'm really happy with how today's gone. The pump feels amazing. The movements felt great and I couldn't ask for anything more. So that is the end of day 66 and I'll catch you all for the next episode. I've been Alexander the Bench Viking. Hope your lifts stay big, your stress stay small. That's Georgia and we'll see you next time. Catch.